So, Kyle,
Sir.
I got a story for you from Florida.
God damn it, why?
Don't worry, it's not a Florida man story.
We'll see. Go
Florida
on.
woman. No, I'm kidding.
Equal opportunity, bitches. There's inclusion on default assault.
Hey, last week we talked about the Florida rabbit, all right? So we have, we're diverse
Excuse me.
in the Florida sports.
Fluffy McButterbutt or what? Bunny butt. Fluffy McBunny butt. That's right.
I'm sorry, I forgot to use his proper pronoun.
Heck.
I'm terrible. Anyway. Well, this happened last week. I kind of want to get. I've been on the road, as you can tell, because I'm not shooting where I normally shoot.
Yes,
but I did want to.
Underground layer in a volcano.
Yeah, I'm on an underground layer in a volcano. I found the 4th and 5th Sankara stones.
Oh shoot.
No.
Demo, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Yes, but I don't want to rip out hearts without latex gloves. Nowadays, you have to be more careful.
I think so, Brian. But can we rip out the hearts without the latex gloves? No.
But I want to talk about this. This happened May 1st, and I don't know which side of this I'm falling on quite yet. Disney bans smoking at parks in Florida and California. Visitors who want to smoke at its theme park properties, including Walt Disney World, the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, and 2 water parks in Orlando, as well as Disneyland and the Downtown Disney District in Anaheim, will have to do so at designated locations outside the security area, according to a post on the Disney Parks blog. As we expand our offerings, we continue to take steps to enhance the guest experience and make it more enjoyable for everyone who visits. Lig Jager, a Disney spokeswoman, said, It will be up to Disney employees to enforce the ban. She said, employees will ask anyone caught smoking to leave the park and smoke in a designated area. Now, I have been doing a little perusing online and have found some experiences in the last week since this ban went into place of Disney patrons and employees mentioning that people are now vaping in bathrooms more often. People are because this also includes vaping everywhere, smoking everywhere, and most employees are a little reticent, based on reports, to stop them. Given that Disney World especially attracts people from around the world, and given that nicotine addiction is it's a troublesome thing to deal with when you're at Disney World under stress of little kids and huge lines and not being able to smoke for the full day, unless you want to go out the park and battle the security checks and the lines to get back in the park. I don't know quite how I feel about it. I'm a non-smoker, but at the same time, having a smoking section within the park somewhere off the beaten path, somewhere off in a corner where somebody can go and do what they need to do, I never thought was a big problem.
You know, the issue I run into first and foremost is the piece in and of itself is so big, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea that they can't find something off the beaten path, like you said, and be courteous about their surroundings, whoever the smoker is a tough sale. I'm more in touch with the around the world aspect than I am about, the addict that just needs their fix, but the fact that smoking is vilified as it is unique to this country. I do, by the same token, see the care of the children environment, right? I mean, let's call that what it is. They're trying to avoid any issues with kids getting hit by secondhand smoke, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a noble undertaking, I dare say. I have my own issues with them doing the same to vaping as if it's the exact same, because it isn't. But that's a separate episode. What I'm more trying to get at is, I don't know that I'm in favor of a ban in the form that it is that you have to be outside the park to participate. That seems a bridge too far.
Especially since the Magic Kingdom smoking area outside of the park is directly within the walkway.
An excellent point. I feel like this is something this was a trigger that was pulled in haste and in angst. Moreover, This certainly says a lot about Disney's, how you say, approach to their employees smoking. Obviously, I don't have that in front of me, but that can only be more stringent. That being said, man, this is a tough call for me. Like, I'm not a smoker myself. If I'm a Disney employee, I don't want to be responsible for someone telling someone not to smoke.
That's exactly one of the things I'm thinking about. It's just putting it on the shoulders of these poor employees that are already dealing with as much as they do. And I mean, if there's ever an employee that has, if there's ever an employee that has the pressure to put on a happy face at his workplace, it's the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, you beat me to it. They're a soldier of the empire of the happiest place on earth, right? You know, that's a no-win prospect, period. And you can tell the people who handed that down weren't frontliners who are going to have to do that. That's a fact.
First off, I get the kids, the kid portion of it. It makes sense. Ultimately, this is a part designed for children. They can't smoke. Totally get that. The placement of the smoking areas is important, because if you are talking about the Magic Kingdom and you are making that front area, the smoking area, then the kids are just as involved in that. I mean, they're having to walk through it to either go to the monorail or to the boat, so they're going to get that secondhand regardless. But I don't see it as being that big of a deal. I mean, if you're asking me, and look, I think I'm the only smoker on the panel, right? So can I go to Disney and not smoke for 8 hours so that I can walk 4 miles with my kids and let them play? Absolutely, I can. And I'm totally okay with not having to explain to my kid why Johnny and Ricky over there are smoking. I mean, it's easier. As a parent, it's easier. As a person who smokes, it's not that difficult to go 8 hours without doing it. So I don't have a problem with it at all. And this is coming from someone who actually smokes. The fact that they take it away from gas stations, whatever, but everything doesn't require an argument. Like, it's Disney. It is Disney. When I hear Disney, the first thing I think of is children, and it shouldn't be cigarettes. So I am totally okay with it. And this is coming from someone who actually smokes.
You know what my theory is? That this has nothing to do with smoking. And I think that the fact that vaping is also banned might actually help in this theory. I think this has a lot to do with the fact, especially in the case of California and so forth, they want to dissuade people from smoking marijuana in the park.
Oh, that's an excellent point.
Well,
you can vape
yeah.
THC very easily without anybody really realizing what you're smoking.
Very true.
The only clue you would have is the aroma. Like,
nope, not with the
not
vape.
as much from vape. Not as much.
Bro,
If you have, it goes away very quickly.
You can vape some good, and no one know anything because it smells delicious.
I mean, listen, let's be clear, brother. Like, we talked about on dinner time how this conversation is not my lane.
Right.
I pulled
that's why I'm stepping in
out of my butt, and you're going to come and save me.
I'm stepping in. Yeah. People mover would be extremely relaxed, and I think I had a high enough base count to where I was able to truly enjoy that. I think more than anything, you wouldn't want to be under the influence and then go into like Tomorrowland or something like that. I get the point, and I absolutely. Now that you say that, it totally makes sense as to why they would want to get rid of the nicotine, because it's such a bigger stigma on marijuana, because it's so bad for you. It's so horrible. Ooh.
Well, this way they just wipe everything out in one go, and they don't have to police it as much if they just have everything under that blanket ban.
Yeah, since everything is becoming recreational now. You're talking California. You can do it recreationally in Florida. You got it medicinally, and recreational is right around the corner.
I think it's coming recreational to Florida very soon, especially if they're taking these steps.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Like, it 100% makes sense. Don't say marijuana anywhere in it. Just say no smoking. I totally get it, because I can imagine a lot of people wanting to go to the happiest place on earth under the influence.
Wow, that's and the last and no offense to those at all who partake. Were I to run for office, it's going to be legal by the time I would be able to do so. But were I to run for office, I would run as part of the platform being legalizing it, even though I don't and wouldn't partake. That being said, I don't know that we would want to do that around kids. I don't know enough about that to really know if it's different. So, and again, knowing that it's not my lane, I'm pulling stuff out of my butt there. Thank you, TJ.
Which is how people get it into the country sometimes. So,
okay.
That was a mean generalization right there, but I liked it. Folks ain't smuggling stuff up their butts no more unless they go into jail.
So talk to us about running for office again, Kyle.
Apparently never again now, God damn it. Just associating with y'all cats and done.